Recently, an auto manufacturer gave me the opportunity to test out their latest vehicle. They told me that it was comfortable, safe, and definitely luxurious, something our readers would love. To say that I was skeptical is an understatement, but I decided to give it a whirl anyway. So which car brand is it then that you ask? That brand is Lincoln. Right behind me is the 2013 Lincoln Mks, and it is beautiful. The car has this tuxedo black metallic paint to it, has 20-inch aluminum alloy wheels, and a 3.5 liter V6 that has EcoBoost. So basically the engine performs like a V8 with the fuel economy of a V6. And the front grille of the car, this is really a wonderful trademark that Lincoln has improved, and it shows a slight aggressiveness to the car. And you know, don't forget, this car is still a luxury car, but it has a performance in it. The 3.5 liter EcoBoost V6 has two small turbos in it that really reduce the lag time that you would get with a single turbo. And let me tell you, this thing spools really fast. It's basically instantaneous, and just the torque that comes from it is fabulous. I love it. If we look at the hood, we have these wonderful little scallops on it that really add to the aggressiveness of the car. Coming to the rear of the car, we again find that Lincoln is going outside the box with their aggressive styling. Looking at the taillights that were cut at more of an angle, along with this center line cutting through the trunk lid, this line up here. Lincoln's really adding to their stylistic interpretations of their cars, and it is working. Let's go for a ride now and see how it does on the inside. So here we are on the inside of the 2013 MKS, and I have to say that this car is really on par with cars that cost twice as much. This one is fully loaded and it's about $60,000, but I mean, all that you get for that price really is worth it. Let's not kid around. Some cars you're paying for the marquee and you're paying for the name, the prestige that comes with it supposedly. And this car, you know, half the price, all the luxuries, it's fantastic. For instance, you can start the car with your key fob, and you know, you lock the door, you press the engine start twice, and the car will start up, cool it down for you. By the time you walk to your car, it is nice and cool, and it's a wonderful feature. I don't see any other car having that. You know, I don't see a $200,000 car having that feature. This car, 60 grand, has it. This car also has another feature that I think is wildly convenient that nobody else does, and it is the keyless entry with the number pad on the door. It's fantastic. When you go to the beach, and I happened to go to the beach yesterday, I didn't want to take my keys with me. I don't want to get sand all over the keys and the electronics and mess it up. Nope. Just leave the keys in the car, program the door, and you're good. Why doesn't everybody do that? And it's discreetly hidden. It's not like you have these big numbers on the B pillar. You know, Lincoln really changed my mind with the MKS. This car has a wonderful suspension that's adaptive, and it takes, I think, 20 readings a second to make sure everything stays smooth. And a lot of manufacturers really want to get the performance aspect into their cars, into their luxury cars, which kind of doesn't make sense, but they do it anyways. And the cars end up feeling really stiff, and the ride is really harsh. This car, it just glides across all pavement, and it is a joy to drive. And I can't reiterate enough that I was very apprehensive about getting the Lincoln. And in our video review of the MKZ, you'll see what I'm talking about. But you know what? I am a believer in Lincoln now. They've really upped their cars and made them a lot more luxurious. Their styling is a whole lot better, and I really think it's a good contender for the top end. And I think consumers just need to understand that marquees spend a lot of money on their marketing, and it's not necessarily a reflection of how good the car is. It's about, really comes down to dollars and cents. And Lincoln, you know what? They're just quietly putting their cars out there for people like me to test drive and share with you, and show that, you know what? They are a contender. And granted, it's half the price that you might find of a similar luxury sedan, but you know what? It's better. It's better because they found some of the details that others have missed. However, there are some drawbacks too. For instance, this navigation screen, it's a touch screen, but for some reason the glass they use on here really picks up fingerprints, and it is extremely annoying, and it looks disgusting. Every time I touch it, I leave another fingerprint. And all the other cars that I've had that utilize the touchscreen haven't left fingerprints like this. I don't know what it is that Lincoln's using, but they need to change it. Another thing I don't like is this center console where the volume control is and the climate control is. This little styling cue right here, it reminds me of another manufacturer. Now let me pull out my cell phone and I will show you. Oh, do you see this picture? Yes, this picture belongs to not Lincoln, but somebody else, and we won't say who. I'm sure you can figure it out pretty easily. But doesn't it look the same? Yeah, whoever designed this, they need to be fired. Well, I just found out, because I changed lanes right now, one more thing that I don't like about this car, and that is the turn signal. This turn signal stock takes so much effort, and it sounds like a small thing, but when you're paying a lot of money for a car, you want it to be flawless. And this isn't flawless because this turn signal stock takes way too much effort to turn on. And it has, like a lot of manufacturers are turning to the turn signals where you just hit it a little bit and then it'll blink 3 times, it'll automatically turn off. Well, I don't like that. In theory, it may be good, but I don't think it's very good, because say you turn it on and you're going to get over and it only blinks 3 times. If you didn't get over before those 3 blinks are over and then you get over, you're going to get a ticket because you didn't have your turn signal on. That is not good, because it makes you lazy and it makes you want to turn a lot faster than maybe you should, because you're trying to beat the time period before it turns off. Lincoln has done a very good job with this MKS. The car is really a fantastic buy, and I think it will change the way you look at Lincoln. We're going to be reviewing the MKZ coming up, and that will surely change your opinion about Lincoln if this didn't. And this really should have, because I can't reiterate enough, I was very, very reluctant to take this car. Because first of all, Lincoln called me and they're like, do you want to try out the MKS? I'm like, sure. And I hung up the phone and I said, what the hell is the MKS? So I had to look it up. I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's, Lincoln, let's see how it goes. I mean, the Navigator was cool back in the day, but it's 2013. Let's see what you got. And what they got is a lot. I mean, just look at this car. This really is a leap forward for Lincoln. Lincoln has really delivered.